Over the next few days, we're going to be talking to experts in various fields of wellness so that you can be well in all areas of your life. Today's guest is a homeschooling mom of five who started studying emotional intelligence 10 years ago in order to teach her kids about their feelings. When she had to deal with three bouts of prenatal depression, she realized that she needed better techniques to handle her own emotional ups and downs. Her research led her to develop the Power Emotion System to help people get in touch with their healthy forms of anger, sadness, and fear, instead of trying to suppress them and use their power to experience more calm, confidence, and happiness. Join me as we welcome Alison Brown to our show. Hi, Alison.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, can you just explain to us what exactly is emotional intelligence?
Sure. There are actually a bunch of definitions of emotional intelligence, but the one I like is that emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize what you're feeling and do something about it, and recognize what other people are feeling and work with that data when you're interacting with them. Work with how they're feeling in the way you choose to speak and act.
Okay. And you said that this started with your children, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
I thought that I was good. I thought I had a handle on my emotions, and it was those kids that needed to fix their emotions, and then everything would be wonderful. So that's where I started, was researching emotional intelligence, buying different curriculums to teach emotional intelligence, all kinds of different things.
And why is that so important?
Well, we have found with research, with scientific studies now, that emotional intelligence actually is a far better predictor of people's future success and happiness than intellectual skills. What grades you get in school, how well you do on your homework, are actually less likely to end up making you happy and successful in life than building these skills of knowing how you're feeling and how to work with your feelings and how to work with other people when they're feeling big emotions.
Wow, that's it. Very interesting. And you said, okay, and we indicated in your bio that you have a power system, power emotion system. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit more about how that works.
Sure. So what happened was, like I said, I was trying to teach my kids these skills, and I thought it was going well. And then, like you mentioned in the bio, I had prenatal depression. I have 5 kids, and my last 3 pregnancies, I had prenatal depression. And so I was really struggling with the depression. And then when each baby was born, the depression lifted, but I found that my emotional responses were overwhelming. I couldn't deal with the ups and downs of parenting, which has a lot of ups and downs. A lot of those moments where it's just like, I can't believe you just did that. And my emotions would go out of control. And so I was looking for a solution, and I did all kinds of things, but none of it was what I needed, which is why I developed the Power Emotion System, because it was completely different than anything I was finding out there when I was looking for these solutions. What I learned as I was searching was that instead of trying to say, um, instead of trying to stop myself from getting angry, which is what I'd been doing, originally it was just don't get angry. Or then I learned more about how everyone has these emotions. Emotions are okay. And it went to, it's okay to be mad, but it's not okay to be mean. So you feel angry, you say, oh, I'm angry, and then do these things to calm down and get rid of the anger as fast as possible. So it was more accepting of the emotion, but it was still get rid of the anger was the goal. And so I was fighting with myself. And what I discovered finally is that these powerful emotions, anger, fear, sadness, shame, and guilt, these actually have a very good reason for showing up. And they exist to help us, to empower us, and give us the power we need to make changes in the way we're reacting to situations. And so I had to figure out my own way of making that idea actually work. I read it, studied it, understood the concept, but in my actual life, it was like, how do I use anger, which I've known my whole life as something that makes me explode and do things I regret? How do I turn that into something that helps me? And so that's what the power emotion system is all about, is understanding these powerful emotions as a source that can empower us.
Wow. And so, how do you implement that system? Do you work with your clients in a group setting or one on one? How exactly do you implement your system?
I like working in groups. I love the feedback that we get when we bounce off each other. And I really love that it normalizes these feelings, because we all have this kind of mental idea that there's some perfectly well woman out there, emotionally healthy woman out there, who never gets upset no matter what and is always just happy and calm and everything is lovely. And we all have this mythical woman in our minds that we never measure up. And so I really think that working in groups where we share that, no, I get mad at my kids. I get scared of trying to figure out what to do with school right now with COVID. I get upset. All of these emotions are normal. And so I love working with groups to normalize that. So I do a free group coaching program every couple months in my Facebook group. And then I do a paid program, which is a 4-month group coaching program where we get training and working in small groups to really implement these ideas.
Wow. And so what is your goal for your clients after they have finished your system? Your program?
Oh, this makes me excited. I like talking about my goals. I want to create a normal motherhood experience for women in general that normalizes having these emotions and using these emotions to empower us to create the lives we want. So many of us feel like at some point we kind of get lost from what we always wanted and dreamed of. And we're so stuck in the trenches of day to day, of dealing with moment to moment, this has to be done and this has to be done, and what about this and what about that, that we don't really enjoy what we're doing. And then we have those lovely old ladies in the grocery store who are like, oh, enjoy it, it goes by so fast. And I'm just like, don't say that, because it drives me crazy. But that's actually what I want, is to help us enjoy it, not by ignoring the fact that it's hard, but by realizing that our emotions exist to help us get through the hard things. Our emotions are around to empower us to face the hard parts of life and keep going and turn into them and not run away and hide and distract ourselves, but to really focus on the life that's right in front of us and to find joy in it.
That's great. So, I like what you said, not hiding it. So we were acknowledging it's okay to feel this way. But what are we going to do about these feelings and use our ingrained power for them and not feel defeated because we're angry, because we're frustrated? So how has your relationship changed with your children after you kind of came up with this system?
It has been wonderful, the changes that I've seen. I've become a lot more patient because I've discovered that a lot of my impatience and my frustration came from a sense that when things went wrong, when something came up, an idea that I couldn't deal with the emotional fallout, whether that was how I would feel or how my kids would feel. There was this sense that, oh no, dinner's going to be late because XYZ went wrong, and now the toddler's going to throw a tantrum because he's hungry, and I can't deal with that. Or my kid, now we're going to be late to the doctor's appointment because my baby just pooped through her clothes, and I'm going to be embarrassed checking in, and I can't deal with that. So many of the things that stressed me out and that caused me to overreact came back to that idea that I couldn't deal with it. And learning that those feelings the toddler's tantrum, my frustration, my embarrassment, his anger, those feelings are actually there to help us to deal with the situation of a late dinner or being late to the doctor's office or whatever it is. Helped me to no longer live in fear of that. And once I didn't have that fear anymore, that I wouldn't be able to handle it, then I found myself so much more able to be present with my kids and just be there in what was actually happening. And so if the toddler was throwing a tantrum, I could just sit with him and be like, yeah, it's hard. I'm sad too that dinner's late. And I can see you're feeling angry and sad, and it's okay to feel that way. And then when I'm the one throwing the grown-up tantrum about, what do you mean you can't find your shoes? We have to get out the door right now. I can sit with myself and say, you know what? It's hard to be late. I've grown up, being in a public school system that thinks it's okay for teachers to shame kids if they're late to class, and publicly humiliate them. And so I grew up with this idea that being late is scary. And so I'm scared, and that's hard. And it's okay. And being able to sit with that and believe those things then makes me free to say, okay, we can't find the shoes and we need them. Let's go find them. Let's borrow, big sister's shoes and stick them on your feet just so we can get out the door. Let's do what we have to do to get out the door without the yelling and exploding and overreacting.
Right. So what advice would you give to moms who, in light of this COVID situation, may be homeschooling for the very first time? So, they're used to kind of having that time away at work, kids are at school, and now they're kind of entering a whole nother season. What advice would you give to them, dealing with that?
It is a hard season. I chose to homeschool my kids, and it is still really hard. So that is the first thing, is keep reminding yourself that this is hard, that it's not supposed to be going better than it is. You're not failing, and, other mythical moms are doing it better. It's hard for all of us. So that's my first thing. And then really let those emotions be there to help you. So my free week-long challenge is all about anger. And I call it How to Train Your Anger Dragon, because we have a cute little dragon that I use as a symbol that this is your anger. And everyone has an anger dragon, and his job is to keep you safe. He wants you to feel safe in your body, that nobody can attack you, but also emotionally, that no one's going to judge you or humiliate you or kick you out of the group. And also feel safe for yourself to make choices, that you can choose for yourself and back yourself up when you make a choice, that you don't have to be second guessing yourself all the time because of what other people say. He wants you to be safe from that idea of everybody else's opinion as well. And so when you have this idea that that's what anger is doing, then when you get angry about the situation, which all of us are, we're angry, we're scared, we're sad. There's so many strong emotions coming up. But when that anger comes up, that I can't do this, and this is annoying, and it's frustrating, and it's hard, and I don't want to, just acknowledge that this little dragon is just trying to keep you safe, and you're not feeling safe right now. Your job doesn't feel safe because you're trying to school your kids. Your kids' future doesn't feel safe because you don't feel like they're getting the education they need. Your home no longer feels like a safe refuge because everyone's emotions are always there boiling over because we're all stuck in the house. Like, there's a lot of reasons that that's coming up, and that's normal. And it's good. That's the other thing. So access that anger. If you're not feeling angry, if you're just stuck in scared and sad, see if you can find that anger. See if you can find that sense of, I don't want it to be this way. That this is hard and this is not the way I pictured it. And find that anger, because anger is energetic. Anger is powerful. And if you use that anger not to just explode randomly, but if you find that anger logically to say, no, I don't like the way this isn't working well, then that gives you the energy to take the next step, which is, given that this situation isn't the way I want it, how can I make it a little bit better, a little bit closer to what I want? And so you can use that anger as the first step to find your way into what you do want out of the situation. And then, it's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be hard for all of us this year. And we're going to need that energy and that power to say, okay, this situation is not ideal. What can I possibly do to make it better? And, the answer is going to be different for everyone.
Right.
I really, I go through all these different emotions, have their little animals. So anger is a dragon, but fear is a wise owl that sits on your shoulder. Here's my fear owl. A wise owl that sits on your shoulder and notices everything. And so we experience fear as, oh no, I'm noticing something dangerous and I'm feeling scared of it. But there's also the part of fear that we don't think about. That's where fear notices things and gives us ideas that don't feel scary. They're just noticing and taking that next step. And so we talk in the free challenge about how to access that side of fear, the side that notices everything. And before it gets to the point of, I'm just completely freaking out, the point that says, wait, I could make a change here. I could take a step here. I could do something different and make it better. And so after you've accessed the, I don't like this, you can gain access to the, and here is how I'm going to change it and make it better. And so that's what I recommend this year, is keep using those power emotions over and over, because every day is going to be a little different. There's going to be new challenges, and we're going to need to just have that power to say, okay, it's not how I wanted, and I need to have the energy and the intuition and the intelligence to say, okay, this is the best I can do. And then accept that. That's sadness's job. Sadness helps us accept that it's not perfect and it's okay.
So it's a progression of emotions.
It totally is. And so that's what we go through. Let's see, can I find my sadness bear? Here he is. So we go through, first, anger helps us say, I don't like this. I don't like the way the world is. And then sadness says, but I have to live with it. And even though it hurts, I can live with it. I don't have to hide. I don't have to distract myself by scrolling Facebook. That's my favorite distraction. The kids are going crazy over there and I can't deal with it right now. I'm just going to scroll Facebook and pretend it's not happening. And sadness says, no, just be aware. I don't like this. I don't want to deal with it. And it's okay to not like it. It's okay to be sad. And then once we've gotten to that place of kind of a calm sense of acceptance of the world not being the way we want it to be. Now I've dropped my fear owl. Then fear owl comes and says, all right, let's change this. Let's try this next step. Here it is. Let's try this next step that I've been noticing everything that goes on. And here's one thing we can try next. And so that progression really, that's why I call it a system, because it's very systematic. You go through these emotions in the order and you're left feeling calm and confident and, okay, here's my next step. This is what I'm going to do next.
We can all use some calm right now, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so what are the dates of your challenge?
August 24th to 28th. So a week from today it starts.
And so how can they join?
So you've got a lovely link right there that they can click on. That's in the free Facebook group is where the challenge will happen. So just go to the Facebook group Power Emotions and ask to join. And I ask you a couple questions to make sure you're a real person. Why do you want to be to learn these emotional ideas? And then I'll accept you in, and then all the activity will be in the group. So I'll be doing live videos every day for the week, and there'll be homework assignments in the group, and we'll be discussing and coaching and working through all of this stuff.
Great. And what time is it?
I do the live videos every morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and then a watch party at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. And then the live replays are available all week. So if you can't make those times, you can watch them anytime.
Great. So if there's conflicts in schedule, they can still participate.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Alison. We enjoyed having you here today. Anything else you want to share with our viewers?
I just want to encourage everyone, as we've talked about how hard it is right now, all the challenges we're facing, that we we can do this. We are born with the ability to do hard things. And as we build our own wellness, and I think this week of all these different experts you've got lined up are going to be excellent for that, because it's not just emotional, it's physical, it's mental. There's so many aspects that we need to build up. And as we build those things up in ourselves, that resilience that we need, we can make it through this. We are strong. Like, we really are. And as we learn to access that strength that we have within ourselves, that emotional strength, what I teach, that physical strength, that mental and spiritual strength, whatever it is, those things will make it so we can do these hard things that we have to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Alison. This has been a wonderful conversation. Wish you well with your challenge. So again, if you want to link up with Alison, her Facebook link is on the screen. You can also join her free challenge that's coming up. There we go. So we'll also put these links in the video so that you'll have them. And then if you need some help with your food choices, then you're welcome to join my free Facebook group, Coach Tamara's Trek to Trim. We would love to have you. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you, Alison. This has been Tamara Williams, Lifestyle Coach at Measure of Faith, LLC. Join us right back here tomorrow for another episode of Welcome to Wellness. Have a wonderful day. Bye.